In the book of Jeremiah, God rebuked his people for worshiping a pagan deity called the Queen of Heaven. The passage is unmistakably clear. In Jeremiah 7:18, he says, "The children gather wood, the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead dough to make cakes for the Queen of Heaven, and they pour out drink offerings to other gods to provoke me to anger." Again in Jeremiah 44:17-25, the people defend their idolatry. They insisted that they prospered when they burned incense and made offerings to this goddess. This was no small sin. God declared it as a direct provocation of his wrath. Historically, this Queen of Heaven refers to Ishtar, also called Astarte or Ashtoreth. She was a fertility goddess worshipped by surrounding pagan nations. Israel, instead of being distinct, borrowed their religious customs. They mixed these customs into their own worship. They offered food, drink, and prayers to a divine female figure. They believed she held heavenly power, a concept completely foreign to true biblical faith. Fast forward to the present. The title Queen of Heaven has reappeared, not among pagans, but within the Roman Catholic Church. It is applied to Mary, the mother of Jesus. Catholic theology calls her the Regina Caeli, Queen of Heaven and Earth. They justify it on the grounds that she is the mother of Christ the King. Catholics say the intention is not worship, latria, but a unique form of veneration, hyperdulia. Yet the language, imagery, and devotion surrounding Mary often mirror what the Lord condemned in Jeremiah's day. People today pray to her. They crown her statues. They light candles. They sing hymns. They process her images through the streets. They call on her to intercede for them and bestow grace. They even address her as mediatrix and advocate. These titles Scripture reserves only for Christ himself. Though the Catholic Church draws distinctions between worship and veneration, the practical expression of Marian devotion often crosses that line. It gives divine honor to one who is not divine. From a biblical and Reformed perspective, this presents a serious problem. In Scripture, the title Queen of Heaven is never used positively. It appears only in Jeremiah. It always occurs in the context of idolatry and rebellion. God does not share his glory with another. He does not permit his people to borrow pagan imagery or repackage forbidden titles with new intentions. The principle in Deuteronomy 12:30-32 is timeless. God alone defines how he is to be worshipped. Man is not free to invent or adapt forms of devotion from other religions. When applying sound hermeneutics, we must let Scripture interpret Scripture. The Bible gives no instance of anyone addressing Mary in prayer. It gives no instance of offering her homage. It gives no instance of calling her Queen of Heaven. In heaven's own worship scene in Revelation 4 and 5, we see the throne, the elders, the angels, and the redeemed, all falling down before the Lamb who was slain. They say, "Worthy is the Lamb." Not once is Mary seen as the focus of praise or intercession. Heaven crowns Christ, not another. Therefore, even if the Catholic intention is to honor Mary, the parallel is too striking to ignore. Ancient Israel offered prayers, made offerings, and elevated a female figure as Queen of Heaven. God condemned it as idolatry. Modern Catholicism does something strikingly similar. It uses the same title, surrounds it with devotion, songs, and petitions. The names may differ, but the pattern is the same. A created being is exalted with heavenly honor. True worship belongs to God alone. As Isaiah 42:8 declares, "I am the Lord, that is my name. I will not give my glory to another, nor my praise to idols." No matter how sincere or well-intentioned, any practice that diverts glory, prayer, or reliance from Christ, no matter how subtly, echoes the same spiritual drift that angered God in Jeremiah's day. The only rightful king and center of heaven's worship is Jesus Christ. He is the eternal Son of God, who alone mediates between God and man. 1 Timothy 2:5. When Scripture warns against the Queen of Heaven, it is not merely recording history, it is teaching theology. God's people are to direct their worship, prayers, and hope to Him alone. The Church must not repeat the sins of Israel. It must not sanctify idolatrous patterns with new names. There is only one throne in heaven. It is already occupied by the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, Jesus Christ,